You know, with all the noise about AI these days, all the updates, all the hot takes, it is so easy to lose the plot. So today, we're going to step back from all that. We're going on a journey from the absolute cutting edge of technology all the way to a 16,000-year-old cave. And we're going to ask a really big question. In an age where machines can think, what does it actually mean to be creative? So let's start with a number that's, well, it's pretty wild. The cost and energy to ask ChatGPT a single question is 280 times less than it was just 3 years ago. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that for a second. The pace of this change is just staggering. But here's the thing. We are drowning in stats like this every single day. And it creates this roaring noise, as one writer put it, where these incredible leaps forward just start to feel normal, even boring. And we're in danger of totally missing the gigantic shifts that are happening right under our feet. So, to get away from all that noise, the author of our source material did something kind of drastic. He didn't just step away from his computer, he went deep underground into a massive cave system in the Pyrenees Mountains. And this is where things get really interesting as we move from the world of data to the very real, very physical world of rock and total darkness. Okay, so picture this. You're a full kilometer deep inside this cave. You're way too far in to go back by yourself, and you're not even sure you can keep up with your group. And that's when this ancient primal fear of being trapped starts to bubble up. And it's not just in his head. His body starts freaking out. His mouth goes dry, his jaw starts to ache, and then this sharp pain shoots up into his chest. His body is reacting to a threat that his logical brain knows isn't there, but that doesn't matter one bit. And then his legs start to shake. You know what that is, right? That's the amygdala, that ancient lizard brain part of us that just doesn't do logic. It's pumping his body full of adrenaline, getting him ready to fight or run from a danger, like a cave-in that hasn't been a real threat for maybe 10,000 years. So here he is in this super ancient primal place, having this primal fear response. And what saves him? A piece of modern tech. On his watch, of all things. A little mindfulness app taps out a rhythm on his wrist, guiding him through a breathing exercise that brings his body back from the edge of a full-blown panic attack. Okay, so once he's calmed down, he can finally remember why he's even there in the first place. They're on their way to a very specific part of the cave called the Salon Noir, the Black Room, to see something that, well, it'll just blow your mind. Paintings of horses, bison, and ibex, perfectly preserved for 16,000 years. So while he's off having this life-changing cave experience, two kind of wild things happen back in the real world. First, his newsletter crosses 1,000 subscribers. And second, an AI tells him he should just stop writing it, period. Now, it's super important to understand what was going on here. This wasn't some all-knowing AI making a grand statement. He was using Claude, an AI model, to do a business analysis. And from a purely cold, logical business point of view, the AI basically said, hey, writing this newsletter? Yeah, that's a huge waste of your time if you want client leads. And right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. You've got the AI with its cold, hard logic. This is not an efficient activity. And on the other side, you have the human reason. I'm a writer. This is how I think. It's not about being efficient, it's about freedom. So in a way, the AI was 100% correct, and at the same time, 1,000% wrong for the human who is asking. So what do you do with that? How do you hold on to that joy of creating something when a machine can do the functional part, maybe even better than you? Well, for our author, the answer was waiting for him back in the dark on those cave walls. I love this quote from Hunter S. Thompson because he just nails it. There's this incredible, deep reward in the act of writing itself. See, it's not about the output. It's not a product. It's about that connection between your brain and the words on the page. It's a kind of high that pure function can just never touch. And this realization led him to create this sort of personal manifesto. The new rule is, let AI do everything that isn't the actual writing. The writing itself, that's for love. That's for joy. It's like a cyclist grinding up a huge mountain. A car would be way more efficient, right? But that cyclist isn't trying to get somewhere efficiently. They're doing it because they love the climb. Okay, let's go back to the cave. They're in the Salon Noir, the Black Room. The guide has everyone switch off their lights, and they're plunged into this absolute perfect darkness. I mean, a darkness so complete, you can't even see your hand in front of your face. Then he tells them to shout, to sing, and the acoustics are just unbelievable. And it hits him. This wasn't just a place to look at art. This was a place to make sound. It was a cathedral built for a choir. And that realization, that unlocks something even deeper. Our whole world, especially our technology, is obsessed with getting answers, with being certain. But the biggest lesson from that cave is that there's a profound, powerful wisdom in just admitting what you don't know. So, take the paintings. For years, people just thought, oh, they're drawing the animals they hunted. Simple, right? But then you start asking questions. For instance, there are no bison in the Pyrenees Mountains, so why are they the main thing painted on these walls? And it gets weirder. If you really look at these animals, many of them have human features, eyebrows, weird expressions, even smiles. I mean, what's that all about? Why would they mix human and animal forms together like that? And then there's the biggest mystery of all. Some of the symbols in this cave are found in caves all across Europe. This suggests there were complex networks and a shared culture from a people we used to write off as, primitive cavemen. Turns out they were anything but. The more we learn, the less we actually know for sure. You see, our gut instinct is to find a neat little answer and box it up, to say, okay, problem solved. But the smartest, most honest thing you can say in that cave is simply, we don't know. And there's a kind of beautiful freedom in that. So what does any of this have to do with AI? Well, everything. Because a machine that can think, a machine that can write, that shakes the very foundation of what we thought made us special. For centuries, we've put ourselves at the center of the universe as the only beings capable of higher thought and creativity. The AI pioneer Marvin Minsky had this incredible quote way back in the 90s. We keep moving the goalposts for AI, saying, well, it's not really conscious. But can we even define consciousness in ourselves? We say machines don't have original ideas, but are our ideas ever truly original? I mean, really, that line between us and them, it's getting awfully blurry. And that leaves us with one last kind of terrifying question. If these machines can think without being conscious, what does that say about us? Are we as conscious as we like to think we are? It's a pretty unsettling thought, but it's one we're all going to have to grapple with. Thanks for joining me on this one.